First of all, introductions. My name is Jesus Nava. I'm in the Client Training and Education Department here at TradeStation, and our main objective is to teach about the TradeStation trading platform. And that's why the title of this presentation is precisely that, Introduction to the TradeStation Trading Platforms. So in a moment, I'm going to give you a tour of all the different platforms that we have available and that you can use as a TradeStation client. But before we do so, let's go over some important information. Keep in mind that every symbol and idea that we're going to talk about here today is for educational purposes only. It's not a recommendation of TradeStation. Active trading is not suitable for everyone, especially when it comes to trading options which carry a high degree of risk. And if you'd like to read more about these disclosures, just go to our website, www.tradestation.com, and all the disclosures are going to be at the bottom of this. This class, as I said at the beginning, is dedicated to our trading platforms, especially if this is your first exposure to TradeStation. It's a great way for you to see exactly what is available to you in order to trade your account. We're going to talk about our three main platforms: desktop, web trading, and our mobile apps. And we're going to dedicate a little bit of time to each one and show you some main components of the platforms, so you know exactly where to go to find charting, to find scanning, and where to put in some trades. So let's go ahead and get started. But before I do so, I want to point out that the Getting Started with TradeStation channel has or is hosted by TradeStation at youcantrade.com. You have the link right there. So if you want to follow up or continue your education on the TradeStation platform, please join the Getting Started channel available or hosted by TradeStation at YouCanTrade. We also have a second channel named the TradeStation Masterclass. It's a little bit more in-depth. It dives deeply into the TradeStation functionality. It talks about all the intricacies of the platform. If you really want to use all the powerful tools that are available on the TradeStation platform, is available also on the link that you see right there at the bottom, youcantrade.com. Again, the Masterclass channel hosted by TradeStation. So welcome everyone. As I said earlier, this is a great opportunity for me to show you all the great things that TradeStation has to offer. The first platform that we're going to talk about, it is the desktop platform. Let me switch over here to my computer so that we all. Right, I'm sharing the TradeStation platform as we speak. And this is what TradeStation looks like the very first time that you open it up. You get access to this TradeStation Today workspace that provides some useful information. Let me try to point to a few things here. First of all, there's a featured video right here on the left side of the TradeStation Today. Every time we have a presentation or a live stream, we're going to upload the recording there. So sometimes opening up the TradeStation Today workspace gives you access to these recent presentations. Right there in the middle, where it says what's happening, this is where the social feed would actually show up. So every tweet that TradeStation sends out is going to be displayed right here in the middle. And over here on the right-hand side, we have a calendar of events. But anytime if you want to know what's happening or what events are upcoming, just come over here. We have the dates right here on the right-hand side. It just gives you a quick way to know what is the upcoming event and how to register for it. You have a very convenient button right here at the bottom left. Also, I want to point out that there's a few items right here on this view that are important, especially if you want to open up an application, if you want to trade something, or if you want to monitor your open positions. We have three bars right here at the top of TradeStation: apps, trade, and the position graph bar. So as you're using TradeStation, you're going to bring your cursor over to these tabs, and you're going to see how they open up a menu. So apps is going to give you the collection of all the applications that are built into TradeStation. Trade is going to give you a trade bar that is very intuitive. It's very straightforward. It's just a matter of filling up the symbol, the quantity, price that you're looking for, and other specifications, and clicking the buy or the sell button. And over here in the position graph bar, it's a very interesting bar that we provide on the TradeStation desktop because it gives you a view of all your open positions. See right there at the top of my TradeStation, you can appreciate the fact that I have three open positions. I have a position on Bank of America, If I take my cursor and I hover over that box, it's going to tell me a little bit more information about my position. It tells me that I'm long 1,100 shares, and it tells me what my average price is. And I can do that for every position that is available right here in my position graph bar. By the way, if you don't have any open positions, position graph bar is going to be empty. This only shows positions as you open them up, not only in your live account, but also in the trading simulator. That's something that I didn't mention at the very beginning of my presentation. But if you notice right here at the bottom right of my TradeStation platform, I see my connection indicators, and one of them tells me that I'm connected to my simulator. That's a good way for you to confirm which environment you're connected to, because the least you want is to place trades on a live account when you think that you're on the simulator. So just be mindful of that. Look at the bottom right to confirm which environment you are connected. Also, at the bottom left, we see what's called the workspaces. I've opened up a few already, but there is a little plus sign right here at the bottom that allows you to open up new workspaces. These workspaces are going to be untitled when you first open them up, but you can right click on the tab and you can save the workspace with a custom. Right, so let's go ahead and continue. Let me open up a new workspace. In fact, I have one already open. That's what I had said earlier. And let's go ahead and take this chart. The way that I opened up this chart is by clicking on the apps, the top left corner of TradeStation, and choosing the chart analysis button. Chart analysis is a great application for TradeStation. Our developers have implemented a lot of functionality in there, so it's turned into a very sophisticated charting application. It allows you to do pretty much anything you can think of. A couple things that I'm going to show you before we go on to technical analysis. One of the things that you can do is click on the candles right here on the chart and drag them in any direction that you want. Makes it very simple to maneuver in the chart. You can also press the up arrow or the down arrow keys on my keyboard to compress or expand the view. Once you've changed the scaling of the chart and you've moved it around, you can bring your cursor to the bottom and then click on the reset to bring the scale back to automatic. You may also do that here on the price scale. You click and drag and change the scale as well. That's very handy, especially if you want to focus on certain sections of the chart. Be able to zoom in and zoom out. It's a great feature. So just remember that if you bring your cursor towards the bottom, you have a set of buttons, and the last one is reset, which sets it to automatic or the way that the charting package. If you want to insert any technical analysis, they are all going to be right here on studies. I'm going to click on studies, add study, and I'm going to use something simple like the moving average 2 lines. Show it to you. Okay, and the 2 lines go right on the screen. So this is true for every technical study that you're looking for, and TradeStation has pretty much all of them. Any one that you can think of, it's already part of the package, like MACD, ADX, DMI, RSI, or all those. They're all part of the TradeStation package, and you can find them by just going to Studies and clicking on Add Studies. Now, if you want to change parameters, let's say that you want the studies to calculate based on your own personal parameters, what I do usually is just double click on the lines, and this takes me to the Customize Indicator dialog. Very simple. I can go to the Inputs tab and supply the parameters that I want. So if I want to do a 30 period versus a 50 period, I just type those in, click OK, and you can see how the moving averages recalculate. Now they're showing a 30 versus a 50 bar moving average. By the way, I do see your comments coming in through the chat. I am going to glance at the chat once in a while to make sure that I'm answering questions as we go along. Remember, this is just an introduction. If you really want to go in depth into the functionality, I recommend you go to our Getting Started channel or our TradeStation Masterclass channel, which are hosted by TradeStation at youcantrade.com. So that Nico is our tech right here who's working with us this live stream, and he's sharing the links as we speak, and you can click on those links directly if you really check out the chat. Let's go ahead and continue on our presentation here. To change the symbol is one of the simplest things you can do in TradeStation because it just requires you to type it in. If you look over here on the top left corner of my chart, you see AXB. That's the symbol that I have loaded right now. If I want to change this to something like Twitter, for example, I just type it in, TWTR. I want everybody to look at what's happening right here in the middle of my screen. Command line shows up because TradeStation assumes that I'm typing in a command, and the command is the symbol. You can see right there inside the command that just typed in TWTR. It's all a matter of pressing the Enter key on the keyboard to run the command. So I'm going to press the Enter key, and notice that Twitter gets loaded right here on my graph. If you want to change the time frame, use the time frame button up here, and now you can just change the time frame to anything other than what is already loaded, like daily. Okay, well, that's the one that was loaded already. So let me go to a 5-minute, and there you can see a 5-minute chart of Twitter on the right. Let's go ahead and take a look at some other items. The drawing menu gives you access to all the drawing tools in TradeStation. Here you find horizontal lines, you find trend lines, and drawing tools that are a little bit of more analytical concepts. Like, for example, the Fibonacci retracement lines. You can draw those right from the drawing. Let me show you one example and one utility that you can use on the trading platform, which I find very useful. I'm going to do a horizontal line and take a look at what's happening here for Twitter. If you take a look at the chart, you see that Twitter is trading at 29.85, or at least was trading, and that was the last traded price. I know there's some post-market activity, but on a daily chart, that was the last price, 29.85. Let's say that we want to be notified if Twitter crosses a certain threshold. Let's say that we want to get notified if it goes above 29.90. Well, I'm going to click on my background, hold my mouse button, and then bring my horizontal line to 29.90. I'm just going to drop it there. You can see that it draws that horizontal line, and right here on the left-hand side, I see the price. I'm able to double-click on this line and then enable the alert. Notice that there's an alerts tab allowing me to enable the alert, and then I click OK, and that line becomes hot. As soon as the price activity touches the line, I'm going to receive a notification that Twitter has reached that level, and then I can take action if that's what I needed to do after the note. Let's take a look at some of the questions in the chat. Okay, I see that question here about subscribing to the web, and if you can use the same ID and password. All the TradeStation platform, starting with this one, which I'm showing right now, which is the desktop version, they all use the same username and password. So it's a great benefit to just installing all of them because they're all accessible using the same login. And in fact, when you use the TradeStation platform, especially a web trading and mobile app, it does allow you to pretty much take TradeStation on the go. So you're not restricted to only carrying your laptop or your computer. You can just pretty much pull up TradeStation on a web browser or even your mobile device. We're going to talk about that in a little. Let me go ahead and go back here to my TradeStation platform and show you a couple more things before I jump over to web trading. The moving average that I have here on the screen, it's showing me two lines, and what I'm looking for the two lines to cross. I can also double click on the moving average so that I can get an alert if the lines cross. You double click on the lines, go alerts, and enable the alert. I can choose how I want to be alerted. I can change the sound. I can change the notification. I can change the frequency of the alert. I can say alert once per bar, and then I can go into the configuration, change sounds to change pop-up windows, or even sending an email to your email address. Let me go ahead and click OK here, and now my moving average is turned on for alerts. But this is just one symbol. Now, a lot of times we want to monitor a whole portfolio of symbols. This, of course, it just leads me to the next wonderful tool that TradeStation Desktop provides, which is one of the most powerful tools in TradeStation, which is called RadarScreen. So when you're watching, a whole collection of symbols, and you want to be notified when any of these symbols are triggering a specific alert, RadarScreen is the tool that's going to help you do. Let me show you how to use it, how to turn it on, so that you can get these alerts as they happen. On TradeStation, I already have a RadarScreen open, but if you want to access RadarScreen, just go to Apps, and RadarScreen is one of the buttons for the applications that are right here on TradeStation. I already have a collection of symbols inserted in RadarScreen. In fact, the way that I did that is I went to the Data tab, and I added a symbol list. I believe in this example, I added the NASDAQ 100. So when I scroll up and down on this RadarScreen, I'm able to see 100 symbols that make up the NASDAQ 100. But ideally, and this is something that I'm going to do right now, is that if I'm monitoring 100 symbols, I have them all inserted in the RadarScreen, I want a way of knowing when any of these symbols are meeting certain criteria. I'm going to use the same study that I used in my chart so that we can follow the same idea and not complicate the presentation, but I'm going to use the same moving average concept. What I'm looking for is for symbols that are crossing right now. So if you look at my TradeStation right now, I have a RadarScreen on the left and I have a chart analysis on the right. The chart analysis has the same study that I talked about, moving averages. Let's go ahead and take a look. My RadarScreen also has this column that is titled the same. This is where RadarScreen, is a tool that stands out of all other trading platforms. Because when you insert a column like RadarScreen, when you insert a column like moving average into RadarScreen, you are turning every single row into a chart analysis. Do you see this column right here called interval? That is feeding historical data for each one of these symbols in order to calculate the moving average. So this is like having 100 chart analysis windows in just one single application. This is very powerful. Now, the same way that I showed you here in my previous workspace, when I double-clicked on the lines and I turned on the alert, do the same thing here in RadarScreen. But the nice thing here in RadarScreen is that once you turn on the alert, you can see which several symbols out of the 100 are crossing right now. I've already turned on the alert. But if you want to turn on the alert on any study, just right-click, Studies, and edit the moving average 2 lines for all symbols. Here, the Alerts tab, you can see how the alert is enabled. And I'm just going to click OK. I want to point out a couple of examples here because sometimes it is hard to see. Do you guys see the red markers that I'm putting right there inside the circles? That red marker that you see right there inside the circle is a real-time alert. Just telling me that on the current bar, I have a crossover. Let's go ahead and take a look at other symbols. I'm going to scroll down and see if I find any other symbols. And I do. Let me go ahead and mark them again. I have one right here, another one right here, here, and here. So all those that have a red marker are pretty much ones that are crossing right now. I'm going to use my RadarScreen in a way that I can concentrate on those symbols only. Let me go ahead and turn some filtering on. You noticed right here at the top of the RadarScreen window, we have these filter bars that allow you to filter the RadarScreen based on any column that is already visible. And I'm going to use the moving average column as a filtering column. Let me show you how to do that. Click on the first drop down, and I'm going to select my moving average 2 line. Then I'm going to go to the second drop down and select alert. And the third drop down, you can either look for a true or a false alert. I'm going to leave it on true. And I want you guys to take a look at what happened on my RadarScreen. Instead of having all the 100 symbols, instead of having to scroll up and down looking for the ones that have crossed over, I'm just able to look at the ones that are crossing because these are all showing a red marker as the one I pointed out earlier. So out of 100, we have about 9 or 10 symbols that are crossing right. Can we double check? Of course we can. One of the nice features also of TradeStation is the ability to link windows together. So here at the top of these windows, I have an S button, stands for symbol, and you can see how the RadarScreen S is green, and the chart analysis S button is also green, meaning that they're connected. You can click on the button to turn it on and off, and go to the drop down to select other colors if you want to create other groups. In this case, I just want to keep them the way they are. This allows me to click on any of these symbols, for example, MAC, and have it load right here on the chart. And I want everyone to take a look at what's happening here on the current bar. You guys see those two lines crossing on the current bar? Isn't that a powerful thing that you can just put in any criteria on hundreds of symbols and have this tool tell you which symbols out of the whole collection of symbols are meeting the criteria? I find that very, very fascinating. Let me click on the second one, which is MAS. I click it. It loads right here on my chart, and you can see how the two lines are crossing on the current. So great features. I want to encourage everyone to learn a little bit more about TradeStation because, as I said before, this is one of the most powerful tools that we find right here on TradeStation. Let me take a look at some of the questions here that are coming in. Okay. I see the question about studies by Dr. Alexander Elder. I don't think we have any studies that are designed by him, but it never hurts to look at the list of studies. There's a whole collection of studies, and I know the developers are always adding new studies as we go along. Let's go ahead and see. There's a question here. Is there a way? Does the desktop, laptop, and the mobile have the same capabilities? No, they don't. If you really want the full power of TradeStation, the desktop is the one that has all the bells and whistles and all the powerful tools. Like RadarScreen is part of the desktop version. Once you go on to the web trading or the mobile app, you have limited functionality, but it's still very useful because, I mean, just the fact that you can carry your TradeStation platform anywhere you go, it is also a powerful thing. So do not subestimate the web trading application or the mobile app just because they don't have everything that the desktop version has, but they do have different functionality. So let me point that out. I always call, the web trading platform, the mobile app, a simplified version of TradeStation, but it's a great way for you to carry and have mobility when you use TradeStation. I see that question, is there a way to run both simulator and live accounts at the same time? At this moment, no. The only way that you can accomplish that is by getting a additional login to TradeStation. Contact our technical support representatives or client services representatives, and they'll explain how to get a second login to TradeStation. Let's see, I use the desktop version of TradeStation and I want to save changes, make to my chart analysis. I select workspaces or desktop option file type. It's an interesting question, Mervin, and thank you for the question. Desktop and workspaces are different. If you're making changes to a chart analysis, it's just a matter of saving the workspace tab at the bottom of the TradeStation platform. That is going to save all the applications that are part of it. Okay? Okay. I see your question about turning my 1 million to 19 million. This is something that all of you can do on your own TradeStations. You have access to your simulator and you can reset balances if you want to. What I recommend, if that's something you want to do, just go to the Client Center at TradeStation.com, and when you go to Accounts, you have the ability to go into your simulator and add more funds if you want to. I didn't trade my 1 million into 19 millions. I probably wouldn't be sitting here if that was the case, but I just added more millions to my simulator. Can I put more than one criteria? Definitely. That's one of the nice things about RadarScreen, that I used the moving average to line indicator and I was looking for the crossover, but you can have multiple columns in RadarScreen and look for any criteria that you're looking for. Steve is asking, can you be alerted by a sound? Yes, most definitely. Here I see visual markers, but if you want to turn on sounds, that's up to you. What I do most of the time when I turn on an alert on hundreds of symbols is that I disable the sound, because if you got a turn in the market and hundreds of symbols decide to trigger the alert, you're going to have all these pop-up messages, sounds firing off on your TradeStation platform. Okay, I see a question about the scanner. Unfortunately, Craig, because of time, I won't be able to show the scanner. What I do recommend is that you go to our channel, the Getting Started channel, and the TradeStation Masterclass channels, and we have plenty of education there as well. Okay. See, I see some questions here. I use the mobile app, the desktop will get disconnected. There to around it. So I see multiple questions about, having the desktop and mobile connected at the same time. Because of market regulation, we're not able to provide you active connections on multiple platforms. However, as I said earlier, you can contact our client services department. And Nico has put in the phone numbers right in there so that they can explain to you how to get a second or an additional login to TradeStation so that you can have multiple platforms connect. Let's take a look at one more tool here on the desktop before I briefly show you web trading and our mobile app. I'm going to come over here to my TradeStation. I'm going to show you the Matrix window. Matrix is one of those tools that are very efficient when it comes to trading, because you can place trades with one click of the mouse. I find that very useful. If you're in a rush and you see a market move, want to put in a trade, having a window that allows you to click on it once, submit a trade, I think it's valuable. Here I have a futures symbol. This is the S&P E-mini futures. The symbol is ESZ19. If I want to trade this, I just have to click on the blue column or the red column. The blue column is for the buyers and the red column is for the sellers. So whenever you put in a buy transaction, click on the blue. When you want to sell something, you click on the red. As simple as that. The symbol or the highlighted price that you see right there in the middle, that is the current trading price of this symbol, 31.37. And the numbers you see inside the blue and the red, that is actual number of contracts that are waiting to get filled at each one of these prices. That is very valuable information because it does provide you a market sentiment indicator. What is the enthusiasm the market in regards to the buy side and the sell side? Where is the majority of shares or the majority of contracts waiting to get filled? Very valuable information. This is called level 2 or market depth data and is by subscription. So if you pull up your matrix and you don't have these numbers that I see in the red and the blue, it's probably because your account is not an. However, let me submit some trades. It's very easy to do. If I want to buy at 31.36, and I come over here to the blue, notice on the left it says buy one limit. I click it, and it tells me they cannot route order. Of course, because the markets are closed at the moment. No, I picked a time when the S&P is closed. So let me switch the symbol. Let me go to Bank of America and see if I can place a. I already have a position on Bank of America, so let me go to Twitter. Okay, so Twitter is closed, but there's some post-market activity. And we changed the duration here to day plus in order to submit a trade to get into a position. So I know that there's still, some selling activity here at 29.86. If I want to buy 1,000 shares of Twitter right now, and I want to get filled, I need to buy them at this price because that's going to be the best selling price. So I'm going to change the quantity over here to 1,000. I'm going to hover over the blue right there on the selling price. I'm going to click
order filled.
That, of course, gives me an immediate execution. I see the blue bar letting me know what my average price is. And notice over here on the left, I see P&L. P&L is great as a column because you can see where your position is at the moment. If it's making money, if it's losing money. You can also click on the actual dollar amount in order to set a profit target or a stop loss. Now, since the markets are closed right now, I'm unable to send a stop But notice that if I want to do a limit order over here, say, well, if it goes to $100, I want to sell. I can click here. That sends an order for me at $29.96, or when it reaches $100 profit. The matrix also gives you the ability to do one-click cancellation. So I can hover over the box here, which represents my selling transaction, and I can just click, and the order goes away very quickly to cancel orders. And I know that you've probably noticed that I don't have confirmation windows popping up. Confirmations are great. When you work with confirmation, it's a way to double check your work. You don't want to make an error placing a trade. Confirmations, when they pop up and they tell you, hey, you're about to trade this symbol, it's going to cost you so much, you're trading so many shares, double check your work that way. Once you become familiar with the functionality, you may want to disable confirmation. That's just optional, to turn the order entry window into a one-click order entry tool, which saves you a lot of time. Rather than having to click twice to place an order, you're just clicking once. So it's optional, but I do recommend that as you practice and the very first few trades that you're placing on TradeStation, that you leave confirmation on. Because, I mean, as you're learning TradeStation features, then it's more likely for you to make an error when you're starting to learn TradeStation than it is when you become an expert and just submit trades with. Okay, so let's go ahead, and on my trading platform, on my matrix, I'm also able to submit. Let me go ahead and go to GTC. I'm able to submit a bracket order. So if I want to bracket my position, I can do that very quickly here by just selecting the bracket. Let's suppose that I want to do just a simple bracket with one limit and one stop, and I can place it here. This is a GTC order. I'm going to say yes, and you can see how the two orders are queued. Of course, these are not active orders because, as I said earlier, the markets are closed. We are in the post-market session, and the only type of orders that we support in the post-market is limit orders. If you want to send a bracket order, I just changed my duration to GTC. What it does is that it queues the orders, and once the market opens tomorrow morning, then the orders are going to be activated. Let's go ahead and see if I'm answering the questions that are coming in. Okay, I see the question about the stop loss. I think I covered that by just using you can use the P&L column, or you can use, the selling buttons here as well. I see your question, Craig, about modifying the volume bars here to show buys and sells. That is not something that we provide. If somebody doesn't know what these numbers are here on the right-hand side, it is traded volume. So you can see which prices in trading session for Twitter have been traded the most. But there's no differentiation between a buy order or a sell order. It's just a trade, which pretty much constitutes both sides, a buy and. Okay, on the desktop, I showed you charting. I showed you RadarScreen, which is our powerful scanning tool, and I showed you the matrix. Let me show you a little bit of web trading and some of the differences that you're going to find there. Let me go ahead. Multiple computers working here at the same time. So let's go and show you web trading. Probably logged out because of inactivity. That's exactly correct. I'm going to log in again. Let me see if that logs in. Okay. One of the great things about web trading is that it's browser based. So you can pull up any browser and log into TradeStation. All you need to do is come over here to the TradeStation website. So you load TradeStation.com. You click on the login right here at the top, and it gives you different platforms. You have the Client Center, then you have Web Trading Live and Web Trading Simulator. That's the one that I'm connected to right now. Or you can launch crypto if you've opened up an account for TradeStation Crypto. Already logged in? This is what it looks like. You have a layout manager right here on the top that allows you to split your screen into multiple panels. During classes, I usually just pull up this 2-panel just simplifies things a little bit. Okay, so here I have my left panel where I have my quotes, positions, and orders. Notice that I can add symbols as well. So if I want to add, let's do Facebook here. I just type it in, hit the enter key, and I see pricing activity for Facebook. I can also link tabs together. There's a little linking button right here over quotes. I can turn it into a specific color. And if you have a chart open somewhere in the panel, you have the same linking button, which means that I can click on any of the symbols here on the left and have the chart update. Makes it very simple. The scroll bar here allows you to adjust the scale on the chart. And if you're looking over here on the top right, for charting, you have a little menu like here that gives you access to study. It gives you access to drawing tools. It gives you access to a lot of things that you can configure in charting. One of the things that I want to point out again, and I said it earlier, but I'm just going to repeat it, is that the functionality on web trading is not the same as the one you find on the desktop. In fact, some of the workspaces that you have on the desktop cannot be opened up here because we're talking about a different platform. You know, TradeStation Desktop is software that you install on the computer and it runs on your computer. Web trading, on the other hand, it is web-based, uses a browser, so the technology or the underlying technology that runs the platform is different. That's why some of the features are not available on. Okay. To put in a trade right here in web trading, you have a big trade button right here on the top. You click it, it opens up a trade bar. The trade bar has 3 tabs right here on the left: standard orders, OCO, OSO, and options orders if you want to. Go ahead and show you one simple trade and notice how easy it is to put it in here. Let's suppose that I'm interested in buying, let's use Microsoft example. You buy Microsoft. Let's say that we're interested in buying 100 shares of Microsoft. We are bullish. We think it's going to go up. But at the same time that we enter an order for Microsoft, we also want to attach a profit target and a stop loss, because it's important for you to bracket your position. That way you don't have to be glued to the TradeStation screen monitoring your P&L and exiting when you think it's right. Already made a plan and you implement that plan right here on the TradeStation platform. Let me show you how to do that right here on web trading. Web trading, I bring down my trade bar. I go over here to OCO, OSO, and I'm going to select an entry long. I did say that I was long Microsoft, right? Entry long with bracket. This is just an example. Not really, bullish Microsoft. This is just an example, so you get the idea of where to go for trade. So let's go to trade. We go here to the OCO, OSO button. I'm going to do a long trade with a bracket. One of the things that I like about, the web trading application is that visually, you can see the order right there. You see the primary, which is, and then it branches or it provides you an indentation for the following 2 orders. And it visually creates this great relationship between what the primary order is and what the secondary orders are. In this case, I said that I wanted to buy 100 shares, so I'm going to put it there. I know that Microsoft is trading at 33.54. Let's suppose that we want to send our order. We want to get in at 33. In fact, we can send a market order. I know the markets are closed, but we're going to set this with a duration of GTC, meaning that the very first tick of Microsoft is going to send a market order to buy 100 shares. My limit, I'm going to put in my price here. I can choose different types of orders, but in this case, I'm going to choose my limit price is going to be $34. And my stop price is going to be $33. If I'm bullish, let's go a little bit higher, 35. I'm shooting for 35, the upside, and I'm stopping my order at 33. This is GTC. I'm going to click on Send Orders. This is my confirmation. I'm going to click on Send. And of course, this is hitting my night. I change here, but the order is sent, and you can see the orders right here on the chart. Let me take a look at the chat here again. I don't want to make you guys feel that I'm ignoring your questions. So let's see. An easy way to find future symbols. There's a search feature built into the symbol box. You type in something and it searches the database for everything that matches the letter you typed in. If you're on the desktop version, you press the space bar, and in the command line, you get a magnifying glass. In fact, let me show that to you. Right here on TradeStation, if I press the space bar, and I click on this magnifying glass, you can do a symbol lookup for any symbol that you want your trade. Any questions on commissions, please contact your account representative. He'll be glad to explain anything related to the commission plan you're subscribed to, or anything related to fees that get charged in your. Mervin, thank you for the question about You Can Trade. TradeStation is hosting channels at You Can Trade. Please check those out. We do daily classes there, so make sure that you register for You Can Trade. It's a free membership, and you'll take a look at the two channels that we're hosting there: TradeStation channel, the Getting Started channel, and the Masterclass channel. Custom studies are not available on the web trading platform or the mobile device. So if you're looking at using custom studies, those are only available on the TradeStation desktop. All right, so I see some of the questions here, for example, from Mira. And you show a spread option order. Yes, I'll show a spread, and I'll do that. Actually, no, I can't really show it because the markets are closed. So this is not the perfect time for a class like this, but it won't let me put in a trade for a spread because it's not going to take it. But I'm going to show you how to build it, and then you can just press the buy or the sell if that's the. And I'll show you that in mobile, so that you can see how to do that on the app. The opening bell sound can be changed. Just go to preferences. I think on the TradeStation desktop, you go to File, Preferences, TradeStation desktop, and go to the status bar. That is exactly where you change the sounds and you change the times of the opening. Okay, let's we have a few minutes before the end of this presentation. I want to be able to show you the mobile app. Let's go ahead and do that. If you see right there, I'm showing my mobile device. Here's my mobile device. When you log into the application, it gives you a list of symbols. You know, you can modify the list of symbols using the plus and the pencil button right there at the top. I did say that the first example that I'm going to show you here is how to place a spread using your mobile device. In fact, one of the type of orders that are placed most here in the mobile device are options orders. So it's interesting that you asked that question, and I'm going to show it right here on this. Let's suppose that we're interested in putting in a spread for Facebook. Facebook is listed right there at the bottom of my list. Tap on the symbol, and this will take me to a detailed view of Facebook. Now, if you notice at the bottom of my application, you have tabs that you can tap on to get access to information. Starting from the left, we have Summary, we have a News tab, we have a Chart, we have Matrix, and we have Options. I'm going to choose Options because I want to build a spread out of the options available here for Facebook. Right there at the top, you have a spread selector. You see if I can point to it with my mouse. Right here. It says single at the moment, but I'm going to tap there, and it gives me a menu with all the different spreads that I can build. If you want to build a custom spread, instead of letting the mobile app build the spreads for you, you can just tap on custom right there at the top of the drop-down menu. And I'm going to tap on vertical, going to be at the bottom of the list. And you're going to see how the strikes are paired up together. Now I have the 200 and the 205, the 202.05 and the 207.05. If you wanted to do like a spread that is not listed there, let's say that we want to do the 200 and the 210. there is a drop down right here at the top of my options that you can increase the interval. Right now it's set to 2. I'm going to tap here and set it to 4. And now notice that I see the combination that I want, which is the 200 and the 210. To trade the spread, you just have to click on the bid or the ask. This is very similar to what you find in Options Pro, where you click on the bid or the ask to generate a trade. So here I'm going to tap on the ask. I'm going to go on the put side, on the call side, which is the left side. I'm going to tap on the asking price there. And notice how the 2 legs are sent to the bottom, allowing me to trade them. I can tap on the trade button right there at the bottom, and it's going to take me to the order ticket, allowing me to make changes to anything related to this order before I submit it. Notice that the green bar at the bottom says review order, so you'll have an opportunity to see the order before it goes. That's how you place a spread order right here in the mobile app. I'm going to tap on cancel right there on the top left of the application. And again, to go back to the list of symbols, you have a back button right there on the top left, and you go back on the symbols that you've added to your. One thing that I want to point out here in this application is the main menu, because the main menu has one of those features that I find very useful on the is alerts. My alerts page is blank right now. Let me just explain something here for or about the mobile app. When you set up an alert mobile app, these alerts are going to be server based, meaning that TradeStation is keeping track of that alert for you. So you don't have to have the application open in order to get notified that that alert got triggered, because we'll use the same push notifications of your phone to let you know that something happened. So setting up alerts on the mobile app is different than setting up alerts on the desktop. Desktop is very powerful, but in order for you to get an alert that you've set up on the desktop, you have to have the desktop open. Mobile app is going to solve that problem for you, because you can just set up the alert right in there, and we'll send the push notification to your phone and let you know that something happened without even having the application. So if I want to do an alert here, I'm just going to tap on the plus sign on the very top. Let's suppose that I want to do an alert on Bank of America, so I tap Bank of America right there. I want to be notified if Bank of America drops below 33. I'm going to change the directional here to less than or equal to. I'm going to change the price here to 33 even. Once I do that, I just tap on create. Right there on the top right corner, you have the create button. Tap on it, and the alert is created. As soon as the Bank of America trades below or at 33, I'm going to receive that push notification. Push notifications like the ones you receive in an email, text message, TradeStation will monitor that alert and send you that notification. Also, part of the notification system on the application, if I go back to settings and I go to push notification settings, the application is also enabled to send you alerts if there are earnings on any position that you're holding in your account. So if I have 100 shares of Microsoft, earnings are approaching, the app will send me a push notification letting me know. It also tells you when an order got filled. So let's say that you have a bracket and you have a profit target, a stop loss. You want to be notified when any of these orders gets filled. The app will do that for you. Let you know when orders get filled in the application without having the app. And we have new feature here for IPOs, market events, price movement. All these notifications are built into the application. So guess what? I do recommend that you install the app, even if it's not your favorite place where to place your trades, even if it's not what you like to use when you're trading. The fact that you can have your application platform on your phone, it does provide you these additional benefits. Alerts when orders get filled, the ability for you to do the server-side alerts. That's a great benefit of having the application installed. It works with the same username and password of your account. Let's go ahead and take a look at some questions here. I know that I'm reaching the end of our 60-minute presentation, so let me see if I can answer some more questions. Can I link my watch list on the desktop to the mobile app? Not at this moment, Dan. And that's a great suggestion. Eventually, we will have these server-side lists of symbols that you can share between our platform. Right now, it's not possible to share your desktop list of symbols with the mobile app or the web trading app. But the web trading app and the mobile app, they are connected. So any list of symbols that you create on web trading, those are also accessible within the mobile app. So we did that extra work to connect the web trading platform, mobile platforms have the same lists of symbols. But you do have to do the extra work creating that list on the desktop. Is there a way to print out trades done within the simulator? Yes, Ebert. If you know about the Trade Manager, just pull up the Trade Manager on TradeStation, and right there at the top, it allows you to do historical loading. So you can load historical trades, and you can copy the information and paste it in Excel. Then you can print from it. That would be an idea to do it. Right, I think that's all the questions. Do you guys have anything else you want to see on the platform close? Because I'm about to end the class, and as a summary, we have 3 different platforms that you can use TradeStation. You have the desktop, which I call the power horse. This is the type of platform where you find powerful RadarScreen, scanner. You want to scan the whole universe of sensors. Then you have to go to the desktop. But in addition to that, we have the web trading platform, mobile app, which is in addition to what you have already, which they complement each other very nicely. Having the web trading platform, the ability for you to access it, any location, I think is valuable, and also carrying your TradeStation platform in your hand benefit trade work. Thank you everyone for your participation. Thank you for your comments in the chat. I want to say that it was a pleasure spending 60 minutes with everyone here. I want to end the class reminding everyone to go to the TradeStation Getting Started channel, the TradeStation Masterclass channel, which TradeStation is hosting at youcantrade.com. Thank you everyone for your time. Have a great evening. Goodbye everyone.